back to Close to Home's April 2025 basic sampler here at Close to Home in Southington. So you need to bring in your completed March block beginning this Saturday, April 19th through April 30th to receive your April kit free. Also, we are stocked up on our Finish the Bolts, new selections, many bolts 50% off, the remaining yardage as marked. They are located on our cutting table, okay? No limit to how many you want. And we have a couple events going on, especially the multi-needle event. Have you ever wondered what a multi-needle embroidery machine can do? It's your opportunity. Sign up to attend the Southington's free brother instructed demonstration here at the Close to Home in Southington on Friday, April 25th from 10 to 1. Just call, sign up, let us know you're coming. We also have a 2-day event. If you are new to embroidery, love embroidery, curious about embroidery, we have all levels of embroidery are welcome to our 2-day event coming up August 22nd and 23rd, hosted by OESD. Call, sign up on our website. There is a limit to the number of students, so please call us as soon as you know you want to come, okay? So those are the only events. Today's ruler is the Easy, by Easy Angle. It's called the Trirex ruler. There is a triangle involved and a rectangle, half rectangle involved. It makes square, triangle into squares from 1 inch finished all the way to, I think it's 6 inch finished. And today we are making, I believe, 4 inch finished triangle in a square. So let's take a look at the block. I'll break it down and then we'll look at the cutting instructions so that you can cut your kits. So the first thing we notice about this is we have some very simple 4 patches, which we're going to be doing strip sets. Sewing the red strip to the white strip and subcutting them into 2.5 inch units. Very simple. From our red strip, we're taking two squares off before we do that, and we're going to create a little 4 patch with the stars fabric. And this is called a triangle in a square, and it is from our Easy Angle ruler, the Trirex ruler. It's a 2 ruler pack when you purchase it, and again we are making 4 inch finished. So each of these are a 4 inch finished block. Okay, wonderful. So the cutting, super easy. We have 2 white pieces of fabric in your kit. One's very wide, 4.5. Cut it 4.5 by whatever the length is in your kit. They will be our tri tool. The second piece of white is a little bit thinner. You're going to cut that 2.5 by the entire length of what you're given in your kit. The red, same thing. It's a little bit longer than the white, only because you need to cut these 2.5 inch squares out for the center before you cut your strip sets. Okay, before you sew your strip sets. So what I've done is I've taken my 2.5 inch squares off the red, put the red and white together, cut those at 2.5, and then I was able to sew that strip set together and make my little units for my 4 patch. And I'll show you that in a minute. Blue, very simple, 4.5, much like the white. Again, 4.5 the whole length for the blue. And this is our Rex ruler, which is a half rectangle. If you look on the block real quick, this half rectangle, we need mirror image of each side. So what we're going to do is fold that, and I will instruct you how to do that. And of course the star is a very small 2.5s, again, for our center 4 patch. All right, please make sure you do put your Mary Ellen's Best Press on this. It does really help to keep these units nice and firm, easy, so they don't stretch. Helps you match up your corners, match up your units. Just by having a little starch in your fabric does help a lot. All right, so if we could take a look at the Tri tool. These two, one's called the Tri tool, one's called Rex tool, for obvious reasons. The simple thing is, when you use the ruler, you're cutting your strips a 1/2 inch larger than your finished size. So today's blocks finish at 4. All our strips are going to be cut at 4.5, the white for the Tri and 4.5 for the Rex. It gives you a really easy line to put at the bottom of your strip, a flat top at the top of your strip, and then the Rex, same thing. You're going to look at the 4.5, the nice solid line for 4.5, and it also has 2 blunt sides, one at the top, and there's this little angle that you need to cut this little notch off that's really going to help you match it to the Tri tool. All right, so let's get started. The first thing I did was cut my strip set. I'll just show you real quick. I just wanted to take a 2.5 inch, couple 2.5 inch squares off of this, so that I already trimmed the edge, so there's 1, 2, and you should have enough fabric to get all 8 units out of here. Okay, so I'm going to cut these down to a 2.5 inch square. Perfect. And these are going to go with my stars for the center. So there's no strip sets. A strip set is when you have, obviously, strips that you have cut. They could be the same size, they could be different sizes. Much like our border was made with a strip set. Many strips cut and then subcut. So here we are. I have my 2 2.5s and my 2 2.5 stars to make my 4 patch. So from this red and this white, I'm going to make sure they're right sides together. I'm going to cut them at a 2.5 inch strip at the same time. So my ruler is only 12.5, so I could use the large 24 inch ruler at this time, or simple enough, I could just cut it at the fold. With the fold, not at the fold. Please don't cut it at the fold. So I'm going to line this up with the fold so I get a nice straight strip line. And we're just going to trim that away. Flip it around, find my 2.5 from the cut edge I just did, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that and get my nice 2.5 inch strips. So now there's cut the same exact size, they're right sides together, and I can just take this over and sew it all the way down the side. We're going to press it to the red. Okay, once you open it up, we're going to press it to the red. Get a nice clean cut over here and cut 8 2.5 inch units. Okay, and that's what we've done here. All right, so I've cut my 8 2.5 units. I've flipped them around so that they nest on one side. You can see one goes in that direction, one goes in that, and then I just pressed it. Okay, so we're going to make 4 patches that are red and white. We're going to make 1 4 patch that's red and stars. So let's get to the easy angle. Love this ruler. I actually have put on a little bit of Invisi-Grip. It's from Omni Grid. And as you unroll it, you just put your ruler down and trim right around through the vinyl, through the Invisi-Grip. And it sticks to the ruler, and it really helps hold the ruler to your fabric from slipping. The nice thing, obviously, about Creative Grids is they give you all these great dots, and it really holds the fabric very well, but no dots, no sand grit on these to hold. So that's just a plus. You don't have to get it. I just find that it helps. All right, so forget this. Let's go into the Trirex. So I'm going to cut this one 4 1/2. I've already cut this 4 1/2. That's for my tri-tool. And then this one I'm going to fold in half. Remember, I need lefts and rights. So it doesn't matter if you fold it right sides together or wrong sides together. Whatever you do is fine. Just fold it in half. I need a 4 1/2 inch piece, so I'm going to line up the fold with one of the lines on my ruler so that when I trim off this excess, I'm going to have a nice edge, a nice straight edge. Not that it really matters at this time with this ruler, but going forward it always matters. So 1, 2, 3, 4 1/2. Okay, 4 1/2. Beautiful. I have a nice new blade in my rotary cutter. So nice. So the next thing I'm going to do is cut my edge off and get my side started for the side of my Rex tool right here. So I'll start with a nice square side. And then I'm going to flip this around because I'm right-handed. I'm just going to place the Rex tool along that straight edge with the blunt side of the ruler at the top edge of my blue and the 4 1/2 inch marking along the bottom line of my blue. And you'll notice that I have this little triangle sticking out right there, which I'm going to, it's called a notch. I'm going to cut that off. So this side and the notch. That's really important, quite honestly. I know it doesn't look like much, but very important. Okay, flip your Rex tool around 180 degrees. Place the 4 1/2 inch line here, the cut along here, and the blunt side along the bottom. And we're going to cut a second pair. Remember, this fabric is folded. And cut the notch. You're going to get 4 of these, 4 pairs. And cut the notch. And the last one. Last one, flip it around, line up that. Line up this, this, and this. And go ahead and give that a cut. Throw that away and grab the notch. So as you can see, we have a left and a right on each of these. I'm just going to get them lined up and get them ready for my tri-tool. All right, so how do we cut the tries? The tries are super easy. You don't fold it at all. We're just going to do 180 degrees. Quite simply, we're going to take this, look for the 4 1/2 along the bottom edge of our strip. The blunt side is at the top. We want to make sure this is over enough so that we get a nice clean cut. We don't want to go too far because we might waste a lot. Then we don't want to go too short and not get enough on our fabric. So we're going to get that pretty close, like 1/8 of an inch away. Give it a cut on this side. I got to come around. So sorry. We're going to cut it on this side. Flip our ruler. Line it up. Cut it again. Again, I have the Invisi-Grip on this ruler as well, and it really helps keep it from sliding. All right, match the top and the bottom. Oh my goodness. One more. And I'll show you how to put them together. Okay, so that's what you have extra. There's no little notches to cut. It was only on the Rex tool. All right, so we have the Tri tool and Rex tool. We're all done with those. We can throw our little extra pieces in the scraps, and let's go sew. So all of these are going to be lined up inside our halves of our Rex. Make sure they're right sides up. Oh boy. Yep, there we go. Everything's right sides up. So I'm going to take the first set and I'm going to put them together. I'm going to do all the rights first. I'm going to press them, then come back and do the left sides. So as I put this on top, I'm looking at the bottom and I'm lining up that notch that we cut along the bottom of my triangle. Okay, here's the blunt side of my tri-white, and that little notch goes right down here and the rest lines up. So if you look on this side, you'll also see where the top comes out at the 1/4 of an inch up here. All right, so let's go sew that. Get it lined up again. And boy, that best press sure does help. All right. Keep it right on top. You can pin it if you'd like. Just pretty much hold it in place. Alright, so you'll notice the thread came out, whoops, came out right at the corner of this point right here. And same with this one. It came out right at the point. It's okay, it's not supposed to match here. It's just supposed to be, my thread got a little messed up, but it's coming right out the notch and going that way. Okay? So let's go ahead and press this, and again we're going to press it toward the blue Rex. Iron. So I'm just flipping this out, holding the heat on it, trying not to iron, just to press until it's set. And then we're going to move on with the next one. So all 4 of these are done in the exact same manner with this side. And now we have our left side. So the left side, you'll notice our little triangle up at the top, which is off of our fabric. That's what we want to see, a little triangle up there. We're going to line up that notch at the bottom. Line up this side, and those 2 triangles should meet right up at the top. And that's where you're going to be sewing, right in that valley. From there, straight down to this point right here. So the intersection of this angle and this angle. So right there. So let's go ahead, sew that, press that, and see what we get. Again, it comes right out that little valley. And right down here at this intersection. All right, we'll press it, and we have a 4.5 inch unfinished triangle in a square. So the top should come straight across. You should see that little triangle hanging up here, just like in all of these. Should be pressed out to the Rex. And we're just going to sew these like a 4.5 inch piece of fabric, get them all lined up. And again, you can go in any direction you want. I definitely had the blue coming out like a star, but if you feel like you're done with stars and you want to turn them inwards, you can certainly do that. It's totally up to you. Nice little effect. The red lines coming down through. Reds in the corners. Yep, all the reds are in the corners. And then we have this one. It could go this way or this way. That's a very interesting block as well. So I hope you choose how you're going to lay it out. Even if you have extra fabric of the stars and you want to make your 4 patches out here with the stars as well, that would certainly add a lot of red, white, and blue and less white to the block. So again, another option for you. Try to get your borders on. It'll just be that much easier at the end of the year to join them together and applique the stars to it. So I hope you like April's block, the Trirex tool. Come on in starting Saturday to pick up your kit, 10 o'clock. Thank you for watching.